It's Inform, Educate, Entertain, Series 2! It is I.
Informative.
It is E.
Educational.
It is E again.
Entertaining. That's it. There's no other letters. That's the whole thing. It's just
Inform, educate.
And entertain.
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 Lockdown's been hard on all of us, Sam.
My favourite part of that was how it was going on, and we just all sat here just awkwardly like...
I think you'll find if you looked at Emma's face, she collapsed into huge beams of joy.
I think that's magnificent.
Yes, it's the second series of the podcast panel show which takes the BBC, pushes it over into a puddle of mud, takes its dinner money, and then reassures it that we're actually protecting it from even bigger bullies, but if it tells a teacher on us, then we'll deck it. My name is Sam Wilkinson, and every fortnight on this show, I invite 3 of my comedy pals to apply for a job at my made-up broadcasting company. It's like Radio 4, but crucially, I don't need Radio 4's permission to do it. Why do I do this? Because I'm incapable of saying I just want to hang out with my friends in the park or at the pub or something. This week I'm asking my candidates to tell actors what to do, to tell lost tourists how to get to the art gallery, to say things with absolutely no superfluous words, and to stain cars that have been in accidents in a paint-like substance, because they're applying to be... directors! That was directing. If you've applied for a job lately, then you'll know that proper interviews are old hat and passé, and you'll end up having to give a presentation and then do some stupid team-building exercise like you're on The Apprentice. And it's the same here! Over 3 potentially exciting rounds, my candidates will try to inform, educate, or entertain me for points. Anytime I feel informed, educated, or entertained, I will give them a point by ringing this bell. Ding! By which I mean I will later edit in this sound of a bell. Ding! By which I mean I will actually press this button on my brand new mixing machine and let my candidates hear the sound of a bell! Yay!
Wow.
Whoever gets the most points gets to be a director, and the others get to be dire Hectors. Because Hector led the defence of Troy, you see, and he failed, like the losers will have done. I've got big into classics lately. I'm really cool. Let's meet my 3 dashing dons of directorial diligence. They are comedy's top Henry VIII impersonator, a surreal comedian with a masterful line in celeb impersonations, and a woman who likes cats, experimenting with baked goods, and not going for long walks along beaches. It's Jack Vincent, Rebecca Turner, and Emma Crossland. Now, just before we start the show for real, there's a chance to score some early points with our fictional studio audience. Yes, even with 1 record-smashingly good series under my belt, I still have nobody who wants to sit in the audience when we record these things, so I've asked my candidates to each bring 1 fictional person along to make me feel less lonely. Jack, welcome back to the show!
Hi!
Who have you brought along as your fictional studio audience member?
I was going to be very edgy, and I was going to start with Jesus and be like, oh, edgy. This is a respectable show. Let's not cause controversy, shall we? And then last night I watched the new Disney Plus show Loki. So I was like, I could go with Loki, God of Mischief, and go down that route. But then I was like, you know what? This is too religious for me because he's also a god. So then also I thought, let's go with one of the best movie characters, shall we say, Mr. Dr. John Hammond from the Jurassic Park.
Mr. Dr. John Hammond
Yeah,
from the
I
Jurassic
realised
Park.
I realised what I said.
That's 2 points. I love Mr. Dr. John Hammond from the Jurassic Park, and I love the way he delivered it. And I do think, as an Attenborough, of course, we mentioned him in last series, he's a wonderful man. Rebecca, how have you been?
I'm good. I'm sweaty and my bum is moist. How are you? You're good.
I'm just sweaty, but
But you know what I mean, like
yeah, no, yeah,
it's toast.
For the benefit of the tape, we are recording this in the height of summer, for which English people are famously ill-prepared.
Yay.
Rebecca,
Yeah.
what sweaty-bummed fictional character have you brought to sit in the audience?
That's actually a really good segue because my character does have that energy to them, where it's like you could tell that she's got something like festering in her hair. And that character is Mrs. Trunchbull from Matilda. Just because now that I'm older, I can totally relate to her having to deal with an obnoxious child genius who tries to steal her only coping mechanism, which is chocolate. I'm more understanding of where she's coming from now.
Yes.
That's a 2-point answer. It would be a 3-pointer, but I'm going to be quite intimidated with Miss Trunchbull sitting in the audience looking over me. So, but yes, you're quite right. Child geniuses can get in the bin. Emma Crossland, welcome back to the show.
Hello, Sam. Lovely to be back.
Who's your fictional chum for me tonight?
So until about 30 seconds ago, it was going to be Arthur Dent from the Hitchhiker's Guide series.
That would have been a 3-point answer.
This isn't going to be a 3-point answer. What I did accidentally in the first series, the very first episode of the first series, is that I mentioned I wanted my granddad to be the Dead Studio audience member. And so I got my name mentioned every single time.
You did?
And I quite like that. This time, my fictional character is going to be my sock puppet boss, Mr. Stevens.
Mr. Stevens.
Disappointingly, of course, for most of my audience who haven't seen Emma live, Mr. Stevens will have flown them all by. And that just means they all have to go see Emma Crossland, hit comedian, wherever she plays.
But Sam, most of your audience is my mum, and she's definitely...
4 points! Emma Crossland! Welcome back to the show. Oh, well, I feel much less lonely already, so let's kick straight off with round 1.
Inform, educate, and entertain.
Over the break, I told a few of my friends that I was going to do some new jingles for the show, and what they all said was, no, please don't take Jingletron 5000, the sad jingle robot, out of the show. He's literally the best bit. And I can't argue with them. Thanks, Jingletron 5000. You're the best bit of the show. Round 1 is the presentation round, and just like a director has to shout at actors until they work together as a cast, so too must my guests shout at some facts until they link up together with some jokes into a short speech of around 1 minute, give or take. Each week on round 1, I give my candidates a perfectly simple question to answer in a perfectly complicated way, and this week sticks rigidly to the format we've established so far. It's a question of directorial cliches this week, as we ask what links lights, camera, and action. Emma, why don't you go first?
The word light is the plural of light, which is an electromagnetic radiation, part of which stimulates the sense of vision. There are different kinds of light. Sunshine is one, and moonlight is another. Sunshine, moonlight, and good times are all, as the Jacksons told us in 1978, innocent. And the blame should only be placed upon the boogie. Boogie is a repetitive swing note or shuffle rhythm or groove used in blues music and was originally played on the piano in boogie-woogie music. Arguably the most notable boogie-woogie musician in the British psyche is keen model railway enthusiast Jules Holland, whose first solo EP was indeed titled Boogie Woogie. Jules Holland is one of the least natural and most awkward television presenters I've ever seen. Every time I've watched late night music TV show Later, I've cringed. His other famous TV show is The Hootenanny, shown on TV on New Year's Eve, although generally recorded sometime in the middle of summer, which is why everyone looks a bit sweaty. The Hootenanny is what you end up watching if you haven't been invited to a proper New Year's Eve party. When watched alone, it's the single most depressing thing a person can do to ring in the new year, and I know because I've been there, but it's all okay now. It's filmed using cameras. Cameras are used to film and photograph lots of things. One of those things is pornography. Pornography, or porn, can be described as many different things depending largely on personal taste, but is generally used to stimulate erotic excitement in its viewer. One of the basic ways this is achieved is by filming people engaging in often depressingly unrealistic acts of sexual intercourse. Another term for sexy time is getting some action. Lights, camera, and action.
Emma Crossland,
Anyway.
fantastic opening volley for Series 2. That was 19 points on the board for you.
I think I'm handing out more points now. I've got my special button. So don't get too big-headed. Let's go over to Jack Vincent.
Jack, what links lights, camera, and action?
Lights is the stage name for Canadian musician Valerie Ann Poxnutter, who won the 2009 Juno Award. Juno is a 2007 coming-of-age drama film starring Elliot Page, then Ellen Page, Michael Cera, and J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons gained big notoriety, can never say that word, for playing J. Jonah Jameson in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. A trilogy is a series of media with 3 entries such as the film series Cars, The Chronicles of Narnia, and the critically acclaimed and amazing Beverly Hills Chihuahua. Beverly Hills Chihuahua starred Drew Barrymore, who is part of the infamous Barrymore family, minus Michael, who were famous for performing on and off the camera. The camera was first invented in 1825, but became famous by big companies such as Kodak. Kodak was founded in 1892. One of its founders, George Eastman, famously committed suicide and left the note, "My work is done, why wait?" You can measure weight in kilos, ounces, and pounds. Leonard Blatvinik has 23 billion pounds, making him the richest man in the UK, whilst Richard Richardson has 2 Richards in his name, so he's pretty richy. He was a botanist and a fellow of the Royal Society. Other members are Bill Bryson, Stephen Hawking, and David Attenborough. Attenborough is famous for lots of nature documentaries and has seen some sights such as watching penguins steal stones from other penguins, watching barnacles take flight, and watching gorillas steal his shoes. I guess you could say he's seen a lot of action. There you go.
Watching barnacles take flight.
I realise I've written that, but I'd also like to point out I just copied and pasted this from a documentary.
Do you mean barnacle geese?
Barnacle Gosling take flights. That's what I meant.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Although the barnacles taking flight, that can be quite humorous. So we'll keep it.
It could be, but they don't.
Prove me wrong.
I'm going to send you a picture of some barnacles after the show, Jack.
Barnacle Goslings take flight. We'll read that.
Oh, okay. We're moving on. We don't have time.
Barnacles taking flight. It could be like the plot of a SpongeBob episode.
Yes, Sam.
I just don't think Jack knows what a barnacle is. Rebecca Turner, what links lights, camera, and action?
The term on-camera flash refers to a type of strobe light that can connect directly to a camera. It is used both on and off a camera. The action might relate to a certain camera type known as an action camera. They are compact, rugged, and waterproof, much like a lumberjack. They record high-definition videos. In this process, no one actually says lights, camera, action, but the first assistant director will usually call a shot to order when filming. What links them is their combined roles within shooting. The director to originate this linked myth of lights, camera, action was D.W. Griffith, who in his frustration and running out of time on a particular project apparently barked out, "Lights, camera, action!"
So, at the end of round 1, the scores look something like this.
Bring up the rear on 9 points. It's Rebecca Turner. Somewhat further ahead, but it's still all to play for. And don't worry, I'm going to fix it later on so that it makes it much more even. Jack Vincent on 18 points. And out in the lead on 23, it's Emma Crossland. But it's all still to play for as we careen straight into round 2.
The worthy drama round.
Yes, round 2 is the worthy drama round. If they're going to go around directing it, I thought it best my candidate should know what a script looks like and how to read one. Last week I gave my candidates a directorial play title and sent them off to write something BAFTA-worthy, hilarious, and about 2 minutes long. Time alone will tell if they hit any of those marks. The only problem is that all the play titles I gave my candidates are even worse than they were in the first series. Jack, what was the play title I gave you?
Oedipus directs.
Oedipus directs.
Action! We open on a boardroom with two men in their 40s sitting at one side of a boardroom table. David has a slight bird's nest hairstyle with a light amount of scruff. His face looks like someone was making a Hollywood actor, but then left it out to melt for a bit. DB sits next to him with a buzz cut and glasses. Both men are dressed casually in t-shirts and jeans and look exactly like failed filmmakers.
This just has to work. We don't have any other choice.
There's always another choice. Come on, you've made movies. TV must be easy.
I wouldn't call it making movies.
You literally just made an X-Men film with Hugh Jackman.
I wrote X-Men Origins, Wolverine. I wrote that. That film, I wrote. It's a bad film.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Will.i.am was in it.
You're literally not giving me anything to go on here.
Anyway, we're not directing this. This is why we're here. So, has this guy had any directing experience before?
About that.
He's not directed anything, has he?
No, he definitely has.
Give me titles.
He was involved in Big Fist.
Tim Burton's Big Fish?
David snatches the piece of paper that DB was holding.
Not quite.
Phil Bill?
DB nods.
Lord of the Cock Rings?
DB winces.
Orgasms 11? You've got as a porn director.
I wouldn't say porn.
What else would you call Harry Potter and Hermione's Chamber of Secrets?
That was a special mention, not a director.
I think it was more than a special mention.
David stood up as the door to the boardroom opened. A man with dark hair and a clean-shaven face walked in wearing an orange toga, sliders, and Ray-Bans.
Guys! Great project, can't wait! David, it's written so well. DB is crafted amazingly.
DB? Why is he calling you DB, Dan?
Oh, it's just this thing I'm trying out.
Your name is Dan. Let's not go too Hollywood. Anyway, Oedipus, was it?
Don't make me do this, Jack. That's fine. Some of my co-stars call me Oedipus.
Oedipus gestures towards his crotch.
Oh, we won't be calling you that. Should we just talk characters?
So, we were thinking about the characters of Ned and Catelyn.
No, I have a better idea. This Jamie character and his sister.
Ah, yeah. Well, we have this really cool idea about their upbringing and how complex the characters could be.
Or maybe they could bang.
DB and David look at each other in silence.
We were maybe looking at bringing in some cool dynamics of the characters, especially with their other disabled brother and the dynamics of their father too.
Oedipus takes a swig of beer that he found in his toga pocket.
Or they could bang. Look, I know all about banging and murder. Trust me.
DB and David stare at each other as it fades to black. Scene 2. Internal party scene. Bright lights shine periodically through a dark LA nightclub. David and DB are wearing black tuxedos with their bow ties undone, so you know that they're having fun.
You know what? DB suits you.
I told you, I feel like it gives me more street cred.
Okay, calm down. Also, I can't believe the whole incest thing worked. I thought the dragons were going to be a big ask from the network. But hey, sister banging seems to be okay.
Who knew he'd be a hit?
DB gestured over to Oedipus, who was drunk dancing with some girls, still in his orange toga and sunglasses.
I still can't believe that it worked. I kind of feel bad for George, though.
Oh my God, George!
Huh?
The initial thing. You got that from George R.R. Martin, didn't you?
No.
You know he stole that from J.R.R. Tolkien, right?
Forget that. Do you think he's upset about it?
Nah, I think it's a bit of a weird thing to do with your name, like.
I meant the incest.
Let's ask him. George?
David shouted to the aging man in the corner. He waddled over like a runner-up in a Santa competition.
George, we just wanted to ask.
The incest thing in this season.
Loved it. That Oedipus guy really knew what he was doing.
I bet he did.
You think so?
Oedipus appeared behind the trio and put George into a playful headlock.
Georgie boy, loved the book. Didn't read it, but it sounded great. These John and Danny characters, love them. Got big plans for them.
Tell me more. George and Oedipus walked off, drinks in hand.
Should we be worried?
I wouldn't worry too much. Hollywood will get him.
I really hope so.
Me too.
Finn. I only know very little about Oedipus, and I just know that he's got a bit of an issue. And I mean, the original draft was very porny, and I want to bring some class.
Oh, this is the less porny draft, is it?
Yeah, I really want to make Oedipus this new reinvention, like party boy style. I don't think that's how it went down originally. However, it was mythical, so it did actually happen.
So, therefore, there's no such thing as a fact about mythology, and you get infinite points.
So thanks, guys. See you next episode.
Let's go over to Rebecca. Rebecca, what was your play?
My play was The Great Director.
The Great Director.
Action!
A great disturbance has befallen the Golden Brooks Manor. It is a most inconvenient film crime with a most inconvenient plot twist. There is only one person for the job, Hernard Parrow, the famous Burnley detective. Parrow is interrogating his final suspects.
So, Parrow, what's your reason for bringing us here?
Patience, Miss Belgrave. Soon, all the pieces will fit it.
Like a puzzle?
No. More like a Scalextrics.
I think that this has been a jolly waste of time.
Look, it's my favourite pink and yellow annoying mascot, Mr. Blobby.
Damn it! My name is Bobby. Was it a murder?
No.
Kidnap?
Oh, interested, but no, it's a genre most pressing.
Pirated films?
Really, Parrow? We must ask you what you know.
Mon at me. It's all slowly coming together early this morning. The night prior, we'd been all drunk and playing the humanity of the card and eating Le Dominoes. I, on my way for a stroll, spotted your vast Ray de Blue DVD collection, but I spotted something amiss. Madame Belgrave, are you a buffet?
Well, I wouldn't turn down the chance to eat as much as I could for $7.99.
No, a film buffet.
I'd say so, but I'd give away old stuff I no longer watched.
This provides a vital clue to old Parrow, as the true crime committer is a film obsessive. They'd never throw away a film, even if it's a Betamax.
What fiend would still own Betamax?
I agree. Bernard, he is curious and observant. In the Ray de Blue collection, one director was missing.
This is bull.
Silence. This is a genre most of nostalgia, crime, 90s, 60s music, and swearing most foul. This led me to discover that you, Bobby, are the greatest director, Quentin Tarantino.
Connie, how did you know I was Tarantino?
On our trip to McDonald's yesterday, I observed that you called a quarter pounder with the cheese a royal with cheese. That's quite a quote. A work of Pulp Fiction. I bid you good night.
Oh, it looked like someone was murdered in the end.
Well done, actors. Amazing. You got the true essence of Bernard Poirot. Well done, Miss Emma Crossland.
It only took me until about the second speaking that this was about Poirot. I just thought there was someone called Parrot. I loved it though. You know what? If that was what Poirot were like, I'd give it a watch.
Fantastic work, everybody. As always, I don't reveal the scores at the end of round 2 for the purposes of fudging it slightly later on to even up the things. We've reached an exciting point now in the history of Inform, Educate, Entertain as we approach the closing parts of what has become known to fans as the Crossland Shakespeare trilogy. New listeners might like to know that Emma is always very keen to appear on the show and help me out, and in return, I always like to assign her a difficult Shakespeare play for her homework. Emma, what is it this week?
Pericles, Prince of Directors.
Emma, before I assigned you this play, had you ever seen or read Pericles, Prince of Tyre?
No.
I can't wait.
Jack Vincent, the English student, have you ever read or seen Pericles, Prince of Tyre?
Is it bad? I've never even heard of this. Do you want an accent? Because I can't do it.
Action. We're inside a film studio. In the background, we see an ancient Greek-looking set, urns and stuff. Assorted extras are walking around in tunics, either a peplus or a chiton, and a cloak, which is also known as a hemation in ancient Greek times, apparently. Then lights, cameras, crew, etc. On the set, the main actors are playing out a scene. We see Pericles, the director, watching the action. The actors break down laughing.
No, cut. No, that's not right at all. This is supposed to be a tragedy and you can't stop laughing. Do you think that my life story, retold as an ancient Greek myth or whatever, is somehow funny? Admittedly, it's funnier than this terrible play with all of this exposition.
This is a toxic working environment. You are too demanding. I'm not just going to take it anymore. I've had another job offer for Hollyoaks, so you can stuff your shitty film and shittier attitude. Come on, guys. Let's go out for cocktails.
The actor flounces off, followed by the rest of the cast.
I have to tell my story, but none of these amateurs can properly portray my pain and suffering. And then I have to put up with this. Few love to hear the sins they love to act. Who makes the fairest show means the most deceit. There, I think that's my shoehorn enough quotes from the real play to keep Sam happy. I need my casting director. Where is Lysimachus?
Perry, mate, what's going on? This is the third cast that you've lost on this one. You can't keep going like this.
I know. I'm just so sad. For all these years, I've wandered in the wilderness metaphorically. I'm a movie director after all. A glamorous Hollywood lifestyle could hardly be described as a real wilderness.
True, but personal circumstances don't detract from personal trauma, and losing your wife and daughter 15 years ago is going to have a knock-on effect. Have you tried mindfulness? Or maybe just go in for some exercise?
Yeah, I've tried it all, but nothing soothes my sad heart. I was hoping that making this film about the events would make me feel better, but none of these actors can come close to portraying my sadness.
Well, I know this girl you should try. She's really talented and beautiful, but she's also my fiancée, so don't push her forward for too many things, because nepotism is rife in the showbiz world, and I don't want those sorts of accusations flying around about me.
All right, I suppose she's worth a go.
Marina, darling, could you come here for a moment? Perry wants to give you a shot.
Marina? Oh, such tragic coincidence. My poor lost daughter was called Marina.
Marina enters. She is beautiful. Hi, it's lovely to meet you. I've admired your work for a long time.
Thanks. That's very kind of you to say. You look familiar. You remind me of someone. Do I know your mother?
Not likely. She died in a yachting accident just after I was born. I was sent to live with my dad's friends, but they didn't like me much and sold me as a sex worker. That's where I met Lysimachus. He rescued me. He's really dreamy.
What a strange coincidence. I lost my wife in a yachting accident and sent my baby, also called Marina, to live with... No. Wait. They told me she died. Those bastards.
Surely not. Daddy?
Marina? Oh, my darling daughter, you're alive.
They embrace. Enter Thaisa, a makeup artist.
Hello, is anyone in need of a touch-up? Oh, where did all the actors go?
Sorry. Did no one tell you? They walked off again, but no great shame. Their abandonment has caused the most amazing thing to happen. I've been reunited with my beautiful long-lost daughter.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so pleased that you've had a happy ending to your tragic story. If only my own story could have such a turn-up.
Thaisa lets out a wistful sigh.
I'm sorry to hear that. What happened to you? I can't help but think that you remind me of someone.
I was pregnant and my husband and I were on board a yacht. I went into labour during a storm and then I don't know what happened. I woke up on the shore, no husband, no child, both presumed dead.
But wait, bloody hell. Today's a right old day for coincidences. I lost my wife in exactly the same circumstances. You don't think? Is your name Thaisa?
Why? Yes, it is. Pericles. Not related to John. Is that really you?
It is? Oh my darling, I never thought I'd see you again. I mean, it kind of seems like I didn't really try all that hard to find you in the first place, but I was still bloody gutted about it all. Hey, you'll never guess what. See that other girl over there talking to my casting director?
Yes. The pretty one that looks a lot like I did when I was younger.
That's the one. She's our daughter, Marina. I was just reunited with her earlier today too. Mad, innit?
I'll say.
Marina, look, this is your mum. We were alive this whole time. What are the chances of that, eh?
The entire cast bursts into laughter. Then an asteroid hits, blow the studio and everyone to a million pieces. The end.
That was brilliant. It sounds like a really good story.
Oh, I think I extracted the highlights.
Yeah, there's a lot of shite in there.
A lot of shite.
And for listeners who want to know why I gave Emma so many points, you can find productions of Pericles, Prince of Tyre on YouTube, but not on TV or films or anything, so take that as the warning that it clearly is. Well, before I hand out the final scores from that round there, I do have to hand out the traditional bonus points for acting, which I did forget to mention earlier on in the script. But it's been a few months since I last recorded one of these, so it's all gone out the window. And I can confirm that, once again, because I think this happened last time she was on the show, Rebecca Turner and, crucially, her very posh Hollyoaks actor voice net a bonus 5 points going into round 3.
Top notch.
Right, that's the end of round 2. Let's time to reveal some scores in that. Still bringing up the rear, but moving along quickly. Rebecca Turner's on 32 points. Slightly ahead, 38 points. It's Mr. Jack Vincent. And all the way out in the lead on 49, surely insurmountable unless I decide to give other people loads more points at the end like I always do. It's Emma Crossland!
It's time for this week's attempt at an interview round.
No comment from Emma this time, but there was a little look that said, ooh, you've changed that one. It's nearly the end of the show, and we're almost at the point where we find out which of our candidates will direct and which will dial their ex and leave a pathetic voicemail saying, Sandra, this whole showbiz thing, it's not working out. Take me back, Sandra, please. Sandra, I'm sorry. I promise never to have an affair with a dental hygienist again. Sandra! Sandra! Pick up, Sandra! Sandra! Bitch. Before we finish up, though, we need to actually do the job interview bit, so let's ask some probing questions in our directorially themed quickfire round. Reassure candidates that it's okay to pause after the question is asked, have a sip of water, and a good think about your answer. Remember, this interview is for you to decide if you want to work here, as much as it is for me to decide if I want you to work here. That's just good interview technique. Rebecca, what's your favourite horrible building? Or dire erection, if you will.
Oh, hurts.
Oh, I got it!
One at Pontins and Camber Sam's.
Oh, hello. This feels like it's got a story behind it.
No,
No? Alright, fair enough.
Just ugly.
just seems right.
That's a point. Emma, who's the most famous person from your hometown?
Golfer Lee Westwood.
Jack, who's the most famous person from your hometown?
Jane McDonald, the cruise ship singer. And she was a loose woman. And I once saw her in the shopping centre where I lived, and I followed her for 5 minutes and then realised it's a bit stalky, so I probably shouldn't do this, and left.
1 point for honesty. Rebecca?
Nick Cave from Nick Cave and the Bad Seed.
Yeah, mate. What? Someone off Loose Women? You think that's good? Come on, man. Be from a better hometown, Jack.
What about the band The Cribs? They're also from where I live.
Let's listen out for any points for that one.
Ding!
I've got a new system now. That won't work anymore. Jack, what's the best ice lolly or handheld ice cream?
Twister, Ovs, or a Screwball, or a Fab. No, it's got to be a Fab. End of thought, sorry.
Fab is a 2-point answer. Rebecca?
Either a Magnum or a Mr. Whippy.
Magnum is a 3-pointer. Emma Crossland?
A Solero.
Oh, that's no points for you. Rebecca was closest, but it's actually the Iceland own brand knockoff Magnums, which they've got this nice like chocolatey goo on the outside. It's really good.
Go have a Screwball. Go have a Screwball. You'd be better. Get a free gum.
Oh, I hate gum. I'm not a gum man. I don't see the point in chewing if you're not going to swallow.
Next question.
Jack, when did you last pet a dog?
Today. I did it when I was up a mountain next to a wreckage of a plane.
I fear context might be needed for that.
No. Next person.
Emma, have you ever sat in one of those folding canvas chairs that says director on the back?
Yeah, I used to have one when I was living with my mum and dad and still at school. It was my desk chair, this director's chair thing that I chose because I was that kind of wanker.
I
And you
had
know
one
what?
too.
When you're trying to write an essay for your A-levels, it really hurts your back.
Rebecca, give us your best cut in a shouty director voice, like you're shouting down one of those tubes with a handle on.
Okay, what type of director is it?
Hang on. It's not Sue Pollard. I made you do that one last time. It's Joe Lycett pretending to be Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, why'd you do this?
It's just regular Joe Lycett. He's taking up directing.
No, it's not. Carry on. I'm
Okay.
excited.
All right. Vertigo, get all the birds. They're going to attack you. Action! Go for it. The birds are coming. Oh no, there's a murderer. Oh no, there's a murderer who's secretly in love with his mother.
Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. That's what I've got on the card for that one. Thank you very much. Emma, do you think $12 for informeducateentertain.com was a worthy investment?
Oh, hell yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's 2 points.
I'm looking forward to the merch.
It's interesting you asked that question. Jack, what about this handsome Inform, Educate, Entertain t-shirt that I'm not wearing on this recording because I ordered it too late? But imagine if I had.
That's sick. I want one.
Brap, 3 points.
I have a suggestion for Inform, Educate, Entertain merch.
Go on then.
I think we'd all very much like plush toys of Jinglebot 5000.
Would you like that, Jinglebot 5000? He's nodding sadly.
I mean, I was going to say stationary, but again, Emma deserves the win.
Emma, why do I always write these questions in a fevered rush the night before we record the podcast?
Because there is no other way to live.
Finally, the traditional question that closes all job interviews. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes.
You may ask it.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near?
Oh, just like me, Emma. No, hang on. No, that doesn't work, does it? Because of the... Oh, no. Oh. Because I failed my improv class.
What's the dress code?
As with all BBC appointments, it will be a full three-piece suit at all times. For ladies.
Go on.
And men may wear any old ratty old tracksuit or anything they can be bothered with. That felt like a satirical comment on the BBC, but I don't really think it worked in any... I don't think they're famous for having a sexist dress code. Maybe they are. If you work for the BBC, write in and let us know.
What's the policy on office cats?
The policy on office cats is... No.
You don't get the job, Emma. Just make your own. Make your own.
Make your own office cat.
No, I meant own company, but make your own cat if you want. Yeah, go for it. You could do whatever you put your mind to.
Oh, thanks, man.
I got you.
Feeling a bit tearful. I feel like we've bonded again, Jack, after initial, difficulties.
We know who's won. Let's just accept it. Carry on. We had a moment there, Sam.
It was beautiful.
It was lovely. Jack can have a point for having a moment.
It's not going to help me win, is it?
No, it's not, but I hope you feel better. So there we are. That is the end of the interview round. And indeed, our show. It's time to add up the points and find out who will be our Orson Welles and who will be...
Oh, you look pleased with yourself. What have you done?
That's the end of the interview round and indeed our show. It's time to add up the points and find out who will be our Orson... It's time to... Oh, no.
Take a breath. And action!
It's time to add up the points and find out who will be our Orson Welles and who will be our awful smells.
That's what we waited for.
Facebook.com/Wilkinson Samuel Comedy. In reverse order, bringing up the rear on a very respectable 48 points, it is Rebecca Turner. Rebecca, you've climbed up the ranks to still be in the rear, but now a lot less further from the front, so you did pretty well. Second place, 52 points, is Jack Vincent.
Obviously,
yeah, and yet you were still on the edge of your seat there. I saw the hope die in your eyes, and that was wonderful. Which means our winner on 58 points, it's Emma Crossland!
Oh, I'd like to thank my mum and my dad and my cats and my husband and you guys for all being beautiful. And I'd like to thank, most of all, me. I'd like to thank me for being wonderful.
It brought a tear to my eye. Anything to plug while you're here?
Sometimes I go into the outside world and do comedy at generally willing audiences, but sometimes it varies. You can find me on the Twitters. I am at Captain Twitchy, where I very rarely tweet, and when I do, it's usually to complain about something. And yeah, I mean, you can follow me around in the street if you can find me.
That's the Emma Crossland promise.
Jack and Rebecca, I'm afraid I don't have a job to offer you today, so I'm going to have to direct you to get the hell out of my office. Before I do, though, is there anything you'd like to plug?
Hello, I'm Rebecca Turner, and I also do comedy outside of this podcast. And what I'd like to pimp, if it's alright to use that phrase, is I'm bringing a fringe show to a few festivals this summer, hopefully, at the previously mentioned Bradford Fringe, hopefully on the 13th of July, but that might change to an online show, but it should be 13th of July at 5:30 p.m. at the Underground venue. And I'm also doing the Guildford Fringe on the 9th of July in Guildford, and then the Camden Fringe on the 7th of August. For more details, please check out my Facebook page at Rebecca Turner Comedy.
I love the name of your show. What is the name of your show, please?
Bex's Chainsaw Musaka.
I feel really bad because this podcast probably isn't going to go out until September. But...
It's okay. I might be doing the Manchester Women in Comedy Festival. Maybe.
Yeah, I will make sure to plug whatever it is that you're doing at the time.
I forgot to mention my Bradford Fringe thing. How shit am I?
Go on then, plug your Bradford Fringe thing.
Well, I mean, my mum already knows about it, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'm doing a 4-woman show at the Bradford Fringe on, I believe it's going to be the 11th of July. And that's going to be me, Kerry Robinson, Helen Swallow, and Becky Heavyside. And we are going to do some funny things, hopefully in front of some human beings.
Woo!
Jack.
For up-to-date information on where you can find me, I'm on all social medias at I am Jack V. That is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm also on TikTok, but that's at I am Jack V _ because some twat stole my name. You can also, I've got my own podcast. We're currently taking a break, but we are the Nice Guys of Comedy on all your social finds. My comedy club, Jacko Club's Comedy, on all the social medias once again.
So, that's enough of that nonsense for this week. Join me again in 2 weeks' time when 3 more stars of silliness apply for some other job. All that's left for me to do is say goodbye from Jack, Rebecca, Emma, and of course our fictional studio audience who don't exist at all. Although in some ways they do. I wrote a whole essay about it at university. Who says philosophy will never come in handy now, mum? Join me again next time for another episode of Inform, Educate, Entertain! That was the triumphant return of Inform, Educate, Entertain, starring Sam Wilkinson with special guests Jack Vincent, Rebecca Turner, and Emma Crossland. The chair script was edited by Sam Wilkinson. The program was edited... I'm going to redo this bit because I didn't finish writing the credits. Didn't put a little joke in there at the end like I normally do. Sam Wilkinson wrote it, edited it, and then messed up the whole thing as well. It was a fictional production company production for IEE and the internet. Au revoir!